Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to make a recipe and we're going to cook pizza. Let's get it on. Okay guys, let's get down to it. There's a couple of things you're going to need to make the pizza base. So we'll start with the pizza base. We've got the pizza sauce and then we've got the toppings. For this recipe I'm going to be making a bacon and pineapple pizza. I've got the bacon already and I've sliced up the pineapple. So it's up to you what toppings you like. Whatever you like to put on there you can put on top of the pizza. One rule to bear in mind though is don't make anything on the don't put anything on the pizza rather that's too wet, too damp. So for example, if you're taking tuna out of a tin, drain the tuna first, then put it on the pizza. We don't want to make the bread soggy because the sauce will make it soggy enough. I know everybody doesn't like pineapple, but it was there for me to use up. So without further ado, we'll start with the ingredients. The first thing that we need to consider is the yeast. So I'm using this here, which is Allicin Dry Active Yeast. So you can get this in a tin or you get these in sachets, 7 grams per sachet. So what I usually do is use a sachet or 2 teaspoons full from this tin here. Put that in a cup. Once you've got that ready, and then what you need to do, you need to fill up a cup about halfway to 2/3 of the way of the cup with warm water. So fill up that cup with warm water and then you add a little bit of sugar in. So put the sugar, make sure the sugar is dissolved in the warm water. You don't want to get the water too hot because this will kill the yeast. Once the sugar is dissolved, then put the yeast, the 7 gram sachet or the 2 teaspoons full of yeast from this tin here, into the warm water. And leave the warm water for about 10 to 15 minutes and let that activate. Now, once you have got that warm water, you'll get a nice yeast output, which looks like this here. So once your yeast is like that, then it's ready to start the next part. Now, what we do, we add some pasta flour or tip 00 flour. I've got some pasta flour here, which is from Tesco, but you do get the flour in different bags, different products and everything, but basically the Italian flour or pasta flour, it's the same thing. You're looking for the tipo 00 on the flour or pasta flour or Italian flour. That's the type of flour that you want to make the pizza base. And with the flour we're going to be adding some salt. So I have got fine sea salt, I've got some honey I'm going to be adding with the flour, and we want to add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil too. So we want about 400 grams of flour. Now 400 grams is enough to do a large pizza. If there's only one of you and you can't eat a large pizza, you probably want to go with about 300 grams. But 400 grams is really enough for a largest pizza. Now I'm just going using my scales in my head there. That looks like about 400 grams. So we add the salt. So we add a little bit of salt to this. Now what I usually do, I put the salt on the edges of the flour because I don't want that to react with the yeast when we pour it in. We want to add some oil, and you can put the oil into the middle. Then we add some honey, only a little bit of honey. Okay, and then we add the cup of yeast. So we pour all that in like that. The next thing that we do is we take a spoon and we mix all this together. So we get our hands in there and we start squeezing this and kneading it all together. I get some cling film. If I can work out how to take this out of the box, there we go. So we get enough for the bowl there. Let's break some of this off. There we go. And just put it nicely on the roll. Make sure it's nice and tight and no air is going to get in and the moisture is going to stay in the dough. And we want to put this in a warm area so the dough can rise. And after about half an hour, you'll probably see it expand about more than twice the size, maybe a bit more than twice, maybe 3 times the size than the current dough is at the moment. And then it's ready to be rolled out and put in the oven. So let's put this to one side and we'll come back in 30 minutes. Okay guys, let's talk about the pizza sauce. Now, pizza sauce is really easy to make. I've cheated a bit here because I've already made my own pizza sauce, but I can tell you how I made it. So that is the pizza sauce there. Can't really see that very well on the camera, but yeah, there it is. The pizza sauce is a mixture of garlic, basil, oregano and tomatoes with a little bit of olive oil sprinkled in. So first thing to do is get some garlic and chop it up really fine, as fine as you can, or put it through garlic crusher. Then get some oregano and basil prepared. Get a pan, and then in the pan put a small glug of olive oil and then heat that up. Put the garlic, the oregano and the basil together. Cook that for about 30 seconds until you start to smell the aroma of the herbs coming off really strong. Once that's done, put in the tomatoes. So you get some tinned tomatoes and put that in. What I usually do is I put my tomatoes in a liquidizer so they're nice and smooth before I start cooking. So it might be worth doing that if you don't want the lumps of the tomatoes in there. So just make sure that you have the tomatoes prepared before and then you can go ahead and cook. So you put the garlic and the basil and the oregano in with the oil, cook for about 30 seconds. You put the tomatoes in, and then what you want to do, you want to leave that to simmer on the stove once it's come to a boil. And then once that's done, after about 20 minutes, once most of the fluid has been evaporated from the tomatoes, then turn it off and you can store it for a few days. So this pizza sauce I made 2 days ago. It keeps for about, I don't know, 4 to 5 days in the fridge. Smells really good, but that's basically how I make my tomato sauce to go on the pizza. With the tomato mixture, once you're happy with that, what you can do at the end to add some nice flavour, just put some salt, pepper in and add some honey to that as well, or you can put a spoonful of sugar in there just to give it a little bit of sweetness, and then mix all that in at the end. Wait until the salt's dissolved obviously, and that's it. You are then ready with your sauce, and that will be a lovely sauce for your pizza. Okay guys, what I'm doing now is I have got 2 pieces of mozzarella I'm going to cut up. Now with this mozzarella, it's probably better for you to shop around where you can get this type of mozzarella here. Sometimes it works out cheaper than the normal dry mozzarella that you get in packets, but mozzarella that's grated or this type of mozzarella here or pizza cheese will be suffice for pizza. So first of all, get yourself a nice sharp knife here. Make sure it is recently sharpened. We want to put this on the chopping board and we slice this as thinly as we can. Okay guys, so there we go, mozzarella cut pretty thinly, not paper thin, but it won't hold its structure if it's cut too thin, but there we go, that's the mozzarella done. So this is the cheese that we're going to use on top of the pizza. Okay, as mentioned before, I've got pineapple and I've got bacon here. So this is just normal smoky bacon and I've cut all the fat off it, so you got no white fat there. And that is going to be the topping for the pizza. Okay guys, before we get started, always make sure that you've got one of these. If you haven't got one of these, I recommend you invest in a pizza base tray with the holes in, so that you can get the air that flows through to dry the bottom of the base out. Otherwise what happens If these are just solid with no holes, the bottom of the pizza base can't release the moisture and it gets all wet. So I'd recommend getting one with holes in. If you don't have one of these, you can invest in a pizza stone, and a pizza stone looks like this. So this is a pizza stone, and you can tell I have cooked many a pizza on here before. This is a Jamie Oliver one, and you can pick this up from well, anybody that sells Jamie Oliver stuff, Sainsbury's maybe. And what you do, you put this in the oven for about 10 minutes before you actually start doing the pizza, and then once you roll the dough out, you put the dough on here, and then the heat from the stone cooks the underside of the pizza, the underside of the pizza base, and then you don't have to worry about the moisture. So when the pizza comes off, it's nice and crispy. But as you can see, it does kind of stain this, but that's something you're going to have to cope with. Now we are ready to get the dough out, and the dough will be a bit sticky at the bottom. This hasn't risen as much as I'd like it to, but I've only left it for about 15 minutes, but it has got some air in it already. So first thing is to get some flour. So we'll get some of the flour and we pour this on the surface. We spread this out like so, so we get a nice layer of flour on there. We coat both sides in the flour and we are ready to roll out. So we just measure this on there. Yes, it's the right size, so let's put the dough on there, and there we go. Okay, now we're ready to put the toppings on the pizza. So here we want to just spread with a metal spoon. I wouldn't use a wooden spoon because a wooden spoon just grabs the dough and then just pulls it and tears it. So a metal spoon just glides nicely over the dough with the moisture of the tomatoes. Next we want a couple of pieces of cheese here. Oops. Okay. Bit of pineapple. Bit of pina. Okay. Some bacon, but you can use Parma ham, Italian ham, or chorizo or pepperoni, doesn't really matter. Now I'm just going to put this cheese in the areas that don't have any cheese at the moment and spread this around. So what we're doing, we're putting cheese on top of a layer, and I'm going to put another layer on top so we get a nice not so cooked layer underneath, and we get a nice cooked layer on top. Let's put all these on here. There we go. And the rest of the bacon. Next we get the pizza and we put the pizza in the oven. Put the oven on to number 4, gas mark 4 or 180 degrees. Okay guys, now the pizza's in the oven. We put the pizza in and then we put it on the top shelf. The oven goes on gas mark 4, so electric 180 degrees, and we leave that in for about 20 minutes or so, and then the pizza is ready to serve. It's time to check on that pizza. Oh yeah, just turn the oven off and let's take a look. That is looking absolutely gorgeous. Oh yeah. There we go. Hi guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you've enjoyed watching it as much as I have enjoyed making it. I'm going to post the link down below of my website where there's lots more recipes on there, and I will be posting more videos of my recipes online soon. So thanks again for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.